Hey, everybody. Welcome to a webinar with Ronald Couming. It's not Marketing Minute because this is going to be about 60 minutes. Today, we're going to talk about 10 social media marketing tips for 2021. We're already into the middle of February of 2021. So some of these things you should have already done, but if you haven't, we're at a point where you can start to do them now to increase your success. I mean, what's gone on in the world right now has definitely changed the way that people do business. They've changed the way that people interact. They've changed so much, the way people do work. I mean, the way people order food, right? So one of the best ways of reaching out as a business owner or an entrepreneur is through social media. So I'm going to give you 10 tips today, and that's going to help you learn better ways, or even if you're doing them, how maybe to be more effective in reaching people and engaging with them and growing your lists, right? So we want to grow and give value, right, through various social media platforms. A little bit about myself before we start. My name is Ronald Couming. I have started 3 companies that have all been very successful. My current company is RCS Online Solutions. We help business owners and entrepreneurs, much like you, attract, convert, and retain their ideal customers and clients. We do everything from developing websites, updating websites, SEO, search engine optimization, both on and off page, social media, email marketing. We do a whole gambit. We have 26 full-time people who work with us pretty much all over the world. So our time zones really don't matter. But so I just wanted to give you a little bit about myself. I've written books. I had a radio show with 1.7 million weekly viewers. I tell you this to just, I didn't read 1 or 2 articles and now all of a sudden I'm an SEO guy or I'm a digital marketer, right? So we're going to give you 10 tips to increase your social media presence, but also your engagement, your impact, your influence, and ultimately your income, right? So let's just jump right into this. I have some material that I've written, so I want to give some key points and then I'll just ad-lib from there, okay? So there are never-ending changes with social media trends. Companies should also transform the way that they take initiatives, inform their audience about their products and services, and many more. So the new year is upon us, so it's a great time to kind of again, we're 5 weeks into February, right? February 21. But what have you done so far this year? What did you do last year that worked or hasn't worked? Whatever you set in motion this year for your social media marketing, has it gotten you what you needed? And maybe it's like a 6-month program, right? So maybe you're just into it and you don't really know yet. But so it's a great time even now to reevaluate, even monthly, weekly. What am I doing for my social media? How is my social media working? So the first thing you need to do is to establish your goals and your objectives. Rushing to launch a social media campaign without defining your business objection is one of the worst mistakes you'll ever make. To ensure a successful social media marketing strategy, you must define your business goals. Do this in writing. So literally write down your goals is one of the paramount, yet one of the best social media tips for 2027. While establishing goals for your social media marketing strategy, make sure that you are being specific, precise, feasible, and measurable. So you want to make sure that you are, whatever your goals are, that they are specific enough that it's crystal clear to you and your entire team. What is your objectives? What are your goals? And if it's not crystal clear, make it crystal clear. But you also, so that's the being specific and being precise. But you also want to be feasible. If you're currently at 300 people on your social media, say you have a Facebook group, or you're on LinkedIn or you're on Instagram, and let's say you have 1,000 followers, whatever the case may be, the odds from you to go from 1,000 to 50,000 in a month is really not feasible. Right? It's just probably not going to happen. But yet, so have feasible goals, realistic goals, and make sure that whatever you're doing is measurable, right? So there are analytical tools that you can use. A lot of them are for free to measure, your, let's say Facebook, what's happening, how many people you're getting, but what time of day are people really looking at your posts? Which posts are people looking at opposed to others? Do more of that. And if they're looking at your stuff mostly between 2 and 4 p.m., then that's when you want to start posting. But if they're looking at your stuff mostly between 2 and 4 p.m., you might want to start posting at about 1:45, 1:30, because this will give a chance for the algorithms to see what you've done, where it is, and then your people are coming on. So different platforms, different areas have different times of day that people go on. I mean, if you're going to LinkedIn, the vast majority of people, they should be working during the day, right? 9 to 5, 8 to 4. So maybe catching them before work, after work, right before lunch, right when they come back from lunch, because they might check their computer and look on LinkedIn real quick, right? And some people who are in business might be on LinkedIn all day too. Same with Facebook, right? A lot of people, myself included, I spend a lot of time on Facebook because there's a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs on Facebook. So tip number 1 is to establish your goals and your objectives. Tip number 2 is very important too. The second step to boost your conversion rate on social media is connecting and engaging with your target audience. To do so, first, you need to understand and know about them. Know them inside now. You must identify your users' needs and desires and ensure a successful marketing strategy. So knowing your audience, I've talking to people, we do entire online marketing campaigns for people. And like I did one for a gym owner, a couple of years ago, just to use them as an example. And they said to me, basically, anybody who's trying to get into shape. And I said, well, that's not true. And they said, yeah, it is true. Anybody who's trying to get into shape, they're welcome to come in here and we can help them. I said, well, that's great. I says, but we were in Bill Ricker. They were in Bill Ricker at the time. And I said, okay, so if somebody in Danvers wants to work out and get in shape, and they said, no, you know what I mean. And I said, no, I don't. You got to be crystal clear. Whatever, like me, my business, we serve all business owners and entrepreneurs, but not all business owners and entrepreneurs are my ideal customers and clients. My ideal customers and clients are people who want to serve more people who understand that in order to get more customers and clients, to serve more people, you need to get in front of more people. You need to show your value. What is your MVP? What sets you apart from somebody else doing something similar, So getting back to learning about your audience, you need to know who they are, what their desires are, what their needs are, what their pain points are, what their gender is, if that applies, what their age groups are. If you're a physical business, are they driving past you? Is it like a 30-mile radius or is it a 2-mile radius? If you're a convenience store, right? Chances are, there's a different store that they'll go to if they live 5 miles away, right? So just be realistic. So, learn about your audience. We have a 9-step process just on, and we call it your avatar, just to learn your avatar. But as far as social media goes, when it goes to learning your audience, learn who they are, what they are, where they are, what platform are they on, what platform do they prefer? They might be on 2 or 3 platforms, but which one do they go to professionally? Which one are they on, just to stay in touch with family members. So learn as much as you can about them because you want to engage with them. And when you engage with them, and we'll probably go into this in a little bit, but make sure whatever you're doing has value. Go by the 4-to-1 rule. Provide value, provide content, 4 posts for every 1 post where you talk about, this is my product and service, use us, buy from us, or whatever it is. It would never be that blatant, right? Or maybe it would, right? But so 4 pieces of content where you're giving value, you're teaching them something. And remember, even when you're teaching people something, you're teaching them the value of what you offer. So once they connect with the value of what you offer, and you're the one who brought it to them, naturally you're going to be the person that they more than likely will go to, because they had that aha moment, they had that trigger through you, and then they learned about it. And if what you're giving them is valuable, and it should be valuable, and it should be actionable, and they do something on their own and they have some success, their endorphins are going to go off because they're happy, but they're going to associate that success with you. And so they may never become a client, they may become a client, but when somebody else they hear about needs something that you do, you'll be the one that they refer, because you gave them actionable tips and they had success with it, right? So tip number 2 is learn your audience. Tip number 1 is make sure that you establish your goals and objectives. Tip number 2 is to learn your audience, who they are, where they are, what their pain points are, what time are they on, all these different things. Learn them as best you can. Number 3 is maintain a social media calendar, a content calendar. Try to be consistent. If you go live every day at 1 o'clock, go live every day at 1 o'clock, because people are going to get used to that. My problem is, if you go live every day at 1 o'clock and you're used to, like I have the green screen here, I have the lights, I'm streaming live to multiple platforms. I can't, if I was to try to do the same thing off my phone, what I'm doing would be different. My backdrop would be different, and it might be wind. And so I try to go live. This is how I get around it. I'll go live at 7:30 in the morning to catch people before they go to work. I'll go to live again at around 11, depending upon where they are. It's either before work or it's right before lunch. But then I take all my content, and it goes up to YouTube. I take it from YouTube, I push it over onto my website as a blog, RCS Online Solutions. Just go to blog and you'll see all these videos, including this video, will probably be up there by tomorrow. The video, the entire description of what I talked about would be in there. Also a couple of free offers, links to free resources, and a consultation link to me. But then down the bottom, I have all my websites, my social media profiles, and all this blog. So now it's up there as a blog. I take that link and then I share it. All my lives go out at 4 o'clock. Replays of them go to all my social medias at 4 o'clock. My interviews that I did like 90 interviews under Success Secrets Revealed. They go out every day at, I think, 7 p.m., right? So I'm doing 2 lives, plus I got 2 replays going. So I'm on there 4 times a day, and I think I'm going to add 1 more time just to stay in the feed, because you never know when somebody's going on, or if it posts and then they're not in front of their computer, laptop, or phone. But the algorithms will pick up your content, and also it's all those backlinks and cross links, and so it's really huge. So maintain a social media calendar. It's very important. So and again, like if you're doing a video, like I did this video, I'm giving you 10 tips, but I'm also going to do the 10 tips. This one I haven't done all of them yet, but like the one I did yesterday, 10 tips for your digital marketing. I did a hour-long webinar, but I did all 10 of those tips. So now I have those 10 tips in 1 tip at a time. So I will start probably next week. I will do social media, and I will do tip 1, which is establish your goals and objectives. And I will do a tip 1 with my opening, my close, all that. Then the next day I'll do tip 2. So now that 110 will now be 11 pieces of content. But when you think I have the video, I have the audio, just the MP3 player, gets stripped out automatically through with the service I'm using, StreamYard. But then I also have the content, which is like a blog article. So I have those 3 pieces of content, right, for 11 pieces. So now I'm at 33 pieces of content. I can post all those separately. I can post a blog with the content. I can post a content by itself. I can post a blog by itself. The audio I can take and use it as a a podcast with no extra effort, right? And you load it up into one as podcast services where you just literally load it up and it goes to 6 or 7 different podcast outlets. But every one of those will have, what your video is about, and will have all the links and your contact information and all your links. So you are saturating, you're creating an online presence, and you're delivering. Make sure what you're delivering has quality. Don't just be putting up, quotes from Star Trek or something, right? Or and if you did put up quotes every day, if that's one of your post points, make sure you give credit to whoever the post is or the person is, but also make sure that it's relevant to your clients. I mean, if your clients are business owners and entrepreneurs, and you have a chef who's talking about cooking, that might not be a post that resonates with your audience, right? So just think about that, and always think about repurposing, but definitely have a social media calendar. I know for me, I have 4 times a day, if nothing else. And then I might post pictures. I get memories on Facebook. I post 2 things from 2 years ago when my girlfriend and I were down at Venice Beach. So, that's a minimum. And then I'll post later. So I'll post at least like 10 times a day. And out of the 10 times today, not one will be a sales pitch. It will either be giving quality content, or it will be showing my human side. I'm a person. I take trips. I go to Venice Beach. You know what I mean? And but that was great because I was that trip. I went, and then I went to an Oscar party because I speak. I travel the country. I give presentations on internet marketing and business solutions. So I was on one of my trips, and part of that trip was I was speaking at an event or 2, and then I was going to the Oscar party. So I was there, I believe, for 2 weeks, and then I shot to Miami, South Beach for 2 weeks. So it's a good lifestyle. The laptop lifestyle is pretty cool. So tip number 3 is maintain a social media calendar. Tip number 4 is focus on engagement, not views and followers. Big time. When you look at, let's just use Facebook for an example, that they focus on is shares, comments, then likes, right? So you could have 10,000 followers, but this is deceptive too. So I hope you pay attention to this. You could have 10,000 followers, and if you put up a post and you get 4 likes, there's something wrong with that. But, or 2 comments, whatever, right? But keep in mind now, if you're doing organic, and let's say you have 1,000 followers, and again, we'll use Facebook, roughly 2 to 4% of your followers will see what you're putting out there. So if you have 1,000, 20 to 40, roughly, of your followers, the ones who follow you the most, Facebook will put it up in front of them. So that's 20 to 40. Now, if they're not on their phone or whatever at that time, the feed will repopulate in time, a couple of hours, every 4 to 5 hours, whatever their refresh rate is. And so they may not even see it. So, just because it says 20 to 40, it may pop up on there, but they might not even be on that day. So you want to, you got to be cautious of that. So if you have 1,000 followers and only 20 to 40 people will actually see it, so let's say 40, let's say the best case scenario, 40 people see it, and 20 comment, share, like, whatever the case may be, that's a 50% engagement for organic. So you got to understand that if you have 1,000 followers, unless you're paying, your 1,000 people are not going to see it. So one thing I've done to even test this is I've put up ice cream, chocolate ice cream is my favorite. What is yours? And then people would write back, I love pistachio. And then bang, right away I would comment, pistachio, is that with hot fudge or whipped cream? And then they would comment back, right? So they would comment, I would comment, they would comment, I would comment. So let's say I got like 40 comments within an hour. And the more comments you get in that first hour, the more the algorithms like it. That post and other posts will start to get a little more juice. So, but let's say I had 40 people and respond, best case scenario, let's say 30, and I responded, they responded, I responded. So now we get 4 times. So there's 120 comments. You know, the algorithms see that. That's a lot of engagement. So there's different ways that you can do things. Ask questions. You know, if you're a business owner and entrepreneur, what are you doing to attract clients that's working? And what are you doing that's not working or that didn't work? So we know what to stay away from, right? So ask questions, right? If you're you know, if like me, let's say I'm a website developer, and I am, that's one of our services. I might say, how many hits did you get on your website this week? Or would you like to have more website conversions? Would you like to have more customers come to you via your website? Everybody's going to say yes, whoever sees it, right? Because, you know, why wouldn't they? So they'll say, yeah, of course I would. All right. Or I'll say 3 tips, 3 things you need to know to attract more website visitors and conversions, right? So just do things to focus on your engagement. So if you have, you know, a video and you're getting a lot of views, that's okay, but it's not as, you know, if you have the engagement, and views technically are engagement, but you want people to talk about it. That was a great video. Thank you for sharing that information. And then respond back, because they make a comment, you make a comment, chances are they're going to respond back, and then you can close it out, or you can make another open-ended comment. So keep your engagement up there. And remember, it's that first hour that really matters. 5th tip is to use Google Analytics. The best social media marketing tips go without saying to use Facebook Analytics to dive into your users. The Facebook users analytics will give you a ton of information and it will help you to explore how your users want to engage with you in your company page. So it will tell you, you know, what time of day, what pieces of content, you know, how many times. So using whether it's Facebook analytics or any other analytics to get a better grasp of what your users are and the people who actually come to your site, where are they going on your site? What are they seeing? How long are they staying? What do they like? Same with your social media posts. Which ones of your posts are getting the most traction, are getting the most engagement? You give more content around that and less around the ones who aren't. So the analytics will give you, you know, it's not just you can see I got 5 more likes, but you might have, if you put that post up at 1 o'clock, you might have gotten 5 engagements. But if you put that post up at 7 o'clock, you might have gotten 61 engagements. So sometimes it's the time of day, right? And the algorithms and the analytics will give you much more information, not so much about what you have done and the results of what you have done, but what you could do to increase your results. So analytics is very important. Number 6 is to check your competitors' profiles. This isn't, you know, the checklist on social media marketing tips is incomplete without mentioning to analyze your competitors' profile. Spying on your competitors or just checking them out, their social media page, doesn't mean that you steal their work, but get some ideas from them and do better than what they're doing. So if you have somebody who's in the same industry with you and you have 1,000 likes, they have 1,000 followers, they have 20,000 followers, they're posting 4 times a day, you're posting twice a day, they're posting, you know, videos and content, and you're just posting content. I mean, look to see. Success leaves clues. What are they doing? And then, you know, post your content. Don't steal their content and repost it. But if they're posting a video with a blog, then you create a video, transcribe it, and then, you know, create a blog out of it and post it, right? It's all your stuff. It's all 100% legit, right? But, you know, success leaves clues. So if they're, like I said, if they're posting 4 or 5 times a day and you're posting twice, if they're posting a lot of helpful information and you're posting salesy stuff, you know what I mean? So keep that in mind, okay? And number 7 is optimize your Facebook business page. So if we're going to talk about strictly about Facebook for a second, but unfortunately, only a few digital marketers know that optimizing Facebook business pages is even possible with videos instead of images. Not to mention, video attracts more customers when compared to static images and ordinary posts. Apart from using GFIs or GIFs or GIFs, how you pronounce it, I'm sorry, to promote your brand, you can also display your products on your company page and market upcoming events. So yeah, I mean, you can optimize your page. It should be optimized. I'm kind of surprised if it isn't. And just Google, how do I optimize my Facebook business page? If it's too complicated, we can do that for you, but just Google it. It's probably not that difficult. And use more video, as the text says, and but consider, once you optimize it and you're using more video, you're never done. You have to constantly nurture it and see what's working, going back to the analytics, right? So make sure you optimize your page, but don't get comfortable with once you create something and you put it up there. It's like just like a website. It's always changing. You'll have an offer, you'll have a special, update your content. President's Day we just had, so maybe you put up a post 3 days before President's Day, 10% discount for everybody for the next 7 days or something, right? So just use the holidays as an event, or create an event. This presentation is an event, right? It's posted on my business page and my personal page, my YouTube page, and then it will be broadcast out. So, but this is a great way to give value, but also to optimize your page. Okay, so analyze your follower growth. So with your growing number of engagements, the number of your followers must also increase. If you don't see any progress in your customer base's number, you might be posting meaningless content for your audience. Very important, because you think it's important and they should know it, doesn't mean that they think it's important. And it might be important, but they might not realize that it's important. They might not even know it exists. So how could they then give it a value of being important, right? So make sure you're posting what's important to your client, but you can also reframe things, right? Like, why is it important? So when you start your videos, I'm going to give you, like with me, I said to attract, convert, what I said, like sometimes I'll say to people, hi, this video we're going to talk about whatever, and this will help you attract, convert, and retain your ideal customers and clients. So tie it back. Why do you want to know this? Once you know this, if you give us your valuable time to spend a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, an hour with us, whatever it is, bring it back to them, but right up front, tell them, what you're going to tell them, but then tell them why it's important to them. So now you have their attention. And even with like these 10 tips that I'm giving you, each tip at some point, I could tie it back to why you need to do it. Optimize, let's say we're doing, analyze your Facebook growth. So by analyzing your Facebook growth, you'll have an understanding of how your follower growth, right? Analyze your follower growth. By analyzing your follower growth, you'll understand how you achieved your followers growth, and you can do more of that. If you're posting, but your follower is not growing, then what you're posting may not be what they want to see, right? So, and that will cost you the ability to, engage with them and serve them at some point. So tie it back to them. So don't just, spew out information. Tell them why it's important to them, and tell them often, because some people, they get distracted. They got lives, everybody has a business, they have family, they have distractions, and so calculate your monthly ROI. And ROI can be determined in multiple ways. And this is tip 9. We're moving pretty quick. Yesterday took me over an hour, but I was doing digital marketing. Social media is a different animal. But calculate your monthly ROI. One of the great social media marketing tips that you can't afford to neglect in your social media marketing strategy. Measuring your ROI monthly can provide you with deep insight to know about your social media performance and presence. You get an idea of what's working and what isn't. But your ROI can be measured in some ways. And I want to tell you, for me, it's more important about the ROR, the return on relationship, than return on investment. So, like I said, I'm doing 4 posts a day, but this is my 3rd one today. I did 2 lives, tips, like 10 minutes, 7, 8 minutes each. And then this one, and probably close to an hour by the time I'm done. And so that's an investment, right? That's an investment of time. So the ROI we're talking about isn't just how much money you're paying, if you're paying to run ads, or you're paying somebody, an agency, to take care of your social media for you. The ROI can be, you're investing your time. Are you getting back the customers? And it's not all about the immediate customers. If you're picking up 10, 15, 20 followers, if I did all these lives and I didn't pick up any followers and didn't get any business whatsoever, technically you could say that my ROI was 0, but not true, because what'll happen is all this stuff I'm doing is indexed, and it's out there on the search engines, and it's out there on social media. So somebody I might meet in a group, somebody I might meet later, might check me out and see all that information that I did. And that might be why they hire me. They may never tell me that, but they might review something. I've had clients who I've known for 2 or 3 years, and we were friends. We go out to dinner. We laugh. We joke. We were even roommates when we shared at a Airbnb at one point. And but it was like 2 years later, they saw me do a live, and it was my 3rd live, and then they hired me. It just clicked, right? But that was after like 2 years. So my ROI on whatever I did, how do you calculate that? But that was more ROR. That was return on relationship. And it was something that I had done, but it was over time that this person was following me, and they saw my content over time, right? And then there was one particular thing I did that made it trigger. So your ROI it's not immediate. I mean, if you're doing like Facebook ads and you're spending $1,000 a month, or Google ads, whatever you're doing, and you're spending $1,000 a month, and you're not making $1,000 a month, technically you could say your ROI, you're losing money. But here's the catch on that too. If you're doing Facebook ads or Google ads, and you're promoting a PDF, let's say, right? 3 ways. If you're a real estate agent, 3 things you need to know before you hire a real estate agent, or me, 7 tips to increase your digital marketing, to increase your sales and ability to serve, make more money, whatever it is. So now somebody sees that, they're interested in that, they click on it, they go to the next page, they give me their contact information, they get the free tips, and all your free tips, it should really be 1 page, actionable, in quality tips. Don't give out any garbage, because that's what people will associate with you, right? You want them to have a great user experience, because they're going to associate that with you. But now, so let's say you spent $1,000 and you didn't get any clients that month, but you got 40 email addresses of people and phone number for texts of people who are interested directly in your subject matter. So now over the next month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, you're going to be sending them emails. You're going to be sending them texts, quality stuff, like I said, use the 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 where you're giving content, helping them. And then the fourth time talking about, well, we can do it for you or whatever the case may be. So I want you to be cautious when you think about your return on investment, but also don't just use dollars as what you put in. You're putting in your time and your effort, and the time and effort I'm putting into this webinar is time and effort I could be on the phone. It's time and effort that I could be doing something else to generate potential customers to serve, right? So it's also about the loss of opportunity, right? So your ROI is great. Check it out on a monthly basis. What's working, what isn't working, what can you do more of, what can you do less of? But please don't live in the moment. Don't live in that second. Sometimes, getting the contact information, getting a few more followers, it will take people a couple of months to really get what you do and how it will benefit them and change their lives. Okay. So your return on investment comes in many different ways, but don't let it. What you really want to do is you want to focus on your return on relationships. Focus on long-term relationships by giving quality content over time. Okay. And tip number 10 is ask questions from your audience. Another great way to engage users is to use engagement on your social media pages by asking questions from them. By doing so, you can deeply understand your followers, and you can come up with much better social media marketing ideas. And again, it goes back to I think it was tip 1 or tip 2 that we talked about. I've taken some notes here, and I'm reading them and then ad-libbing. And tip 2 is about know your audience. So ask questions from your audience. It's a great way to not only engage with them because they're answering you and you're responding. And again, that helps with the algorithms. But more important than just, I don't want to say tricking, but just, having the algorithms pick up on your engagement is you're actually hearing from the source. What is it that they need? What are they looking for? What are their pain points? What problems can you solve at such a point? The bigger the problem you solve, the more money you're going to make, right? So ask questions of your audience. What's your biggest pain point? What are you having the most time with at this point? And ask a generic question out there. February, 6 months into the new year, what's your how many clients have you gotten? What's your biggest problem in getting new clients, or something, whatever the case may be? Just ask questions, and it's great when you ask them of your own customers and clients, because that is the source. That's the best source. And then you solve those problems. You create content and give away free tips on those problems, right? And some of your tips are informational and not actionable, right? Some of your tips are actionable as well as informational. So, have a good blend of all that. And also, lastly, is kind of like a bonus, be ready to refine your entire social media strategy. Always keep an open mind. No matter what you're doing, you can always do something a little bit better and different, right? If you're not serving 1,000 clients, if you're not making $10 million by serving those 1,000 clients, and that is your goal, you may need to modify something that you're doing. But remember, earlier we talked about keep it reasonable, right? And logical. If you're at 6 followers now, or even 600, expecting to get to 50,000 in a month might not be feasible, right? So keep it feasible, but keep an open mind. Try things, test things, tweak things, look at your analytics, see what time of day is best to post on what platforms. Ask your client base, your followers, ask them questions. What is your biggest problem right now? Different questions, different responses, and then keep it light sometimes. Ask them what their favorite ice cream is, just to engage, right? But it also will help with your algorithms. So these are 10 tips that I've given you that will help you with your social media marketing for 2021. And we remain available. I mean, there's probably another 20 things I could talk to you about. I just have to condense, I can't go on forever. But these are 10 tips that will in fact help you increase your social media marketing in 2021 by increasing your engagement and increasing your followers and your contributions, which will add to your impact, which will ultimately add to your income, right? But if you need any help with any of your social media marketing in 2021 or beyond, or your SEO, your search engine optimization, remember, here is something else when we talked about giving people information. 11 cents of every dollar spent online is spent through social media. So every lotion, potion, sneaker, course, everything that's combined on all the social media platforms accounts for 11 cents of every dollar. 89 cents of every dollar spent online is spent on the search engines. So, because that's intent, people are going to the search engines and they have an intent to buy something. They have an intent to get a question answered, whatever it is, right? Whereas on social media, you're posting something and it's an interrupt, it's a disrupt. Somebody's looking, they're going through and they're looking at their aunt's pictures from a recent vacation, right? And as they scroll down, they see whatever you posted. It interrupts their thought process. So now whatever you posted has to be compelling enough. You have to have such a great hook that it stops them. It breaks whatever process they were on. It breaks that. Then they go to your story, hook, story, offer, right? So then they go to your offer, right? So you definitely have to do social media marketing. That is part of your overall digital marketing strategy, and will contribute to your success or detriment of your success in 2021 and beyond, right? I mean, it's part of life, right? Social media marketing is here to stay. And you can make a lot of money and serve a lot of people with social media marketing done right. But do not neglect the search engines. What I do with my clients is we get them ranked on the first page on the search engine. Then we take that information and share it on social media, and different social media platforms you need to share in different formats. What you post on Instagram and Facebook, they might be the same, but it might be worded differently. But those two could probably be the same, but it might not be the exact same thing. I mean, you're not going to go on LinkedIn and post what you had for lunch, right? So, you know what I mean? So the different platforms. So you don't want to just load up one post and just send it out to all the platforms, right? Think about what you're doing, have a strategy, have a calendar. Some of my posts, I do have a calendar, as I said, and some of my posts will, these 3 will go to these 4 social media platforms. These will go to all of them, but, some will only go to some social media platforms, some will only go to some others, because it's just not appropriate for, that audience isn't going to get any value out of it. And if they see it enough times, they're just going to stop coming to my page or my profile, right? So I hope you use these tips. Again, my name is Ronald Couming. You can reach me at Ron, R-O-N, at rcsonlinesolutions.com. You can also reach me at Ron, R-O-N, at Ronald Couming, my own company, RONALDCOUMING.com. And my whole team and I, we're ready here to help you grow your audiences on social media, grow your engagement, grow your impact, grow your income. And we'll kill it. We'll get you ranked on the search engines. You won't even pay us until after we get you ranked. If there's anything that we can help you with, feel free, look below. You will see links to set up a consultation, but you'll also see links for free resources. I put together 7 PDFs where you can do your own on-page SEO. I mean, it's a step-by-step guide. I think it's like 34 pages. How to grow your Facebook group, how to create it and grow it, how your YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google My Business, and there's a couple others in there, and it's totally free. I mean, it's going to ask you for your email address, but chances are I already, if you signed up on Meetup or Eventbrite, I have your email address from there. If you're on social media, I'm already connected with you, right? So who cares? Put in your email address, get some free information, grow your business. The other thing, if you are looking at me on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel, because then you'll get notices, or you'll have a chance to see more of my information that I give out. And I give out a ton. I have probably close to 700 videos up on YouTube right now. So I hope you have a great day. This is Ron Couming, and work on that social media profile, and have a great day. Bye for now.